Hello, fellow robots out there in internet land. I am Sobertron, and welcome to the next episode of the TekTopia Survival Guide here on the TekTopia Town server. Guys, as always, amazing server full of amazing people. So if you are interested in joining this community that is absolutely free to play and playing with me, just look down in the description. But let's get cracking, shall we? So last time we built this pyramid. Big, massive pyramid. And I didn't really show off the inside, but there's some weird things going on with lights right now. I have no idea what's causing this. But yeah, it's not going to be that big of a deal because we're going to put some more things inside here, so you'll probably never see these walls. You'll see them again, but you won't see it in the final product, which is many episodes away. So since last episode, actually, let me go back up here. Since last episode, we have been doing a lot of kind of quasi-AFKing. We've been just trading with our merchant, moving chest items and chests and all that stuff, because my emerald supply was super low at the end of the last episode. I had less than a stack of emerald blocks. I have fixed that problem, which is very good, because our tradesman and architect prices have gone through the roof. Like right there. Prime example, one bard for 8 emerald blocks, kind of nuts. There's another one, there it is, right there. The enchanter, also 8 emerald blocks. But even the base things, you know, miner for 19. Where's like a farmer? Farmer originally is like 3 and it's at 14. That's almost 5 times more expensive. Wait do you see the tavern? 24 emerald blocks. That is nuts. And the prices, they're going to get higher. They are going to get higher from here. It gets really insane once you get a big village going. We are still only at 72 villagers right now, so we're still kind of a moderate-sized village, in my opinion. We're going to go much bigger. The other thing I've done a lot of is free-range killing. I've gone out into the wild some more. I have killed every animal I saw. I brought them back to my little smelters over here. And yeah, we are going to have to feed our villagers a little bit more. Today, guys, hopefully this is the last time, because today we are getting ourselves a kitchen and some chefs. Up until this point, I've been feeding my guys everything they need. You can see it's gone very low. I've even been taking villager baked potatoes and wheat and just making it into, you know, regular stuff for them to eat. But you can see we have a nice supply of, you know, uncooked villager meat right now, which is fantastic. So we're going to be able to, you know, get all 4 meat types, and then we're going to be able to make some bread, make some baked potatoes. It'll be fantastic. And we are going to, you know, put our kitchen back behind our tavern. I've already cleared out the floor a bit. Ooh, twinkles. Yay. I've already cleared out our floor a little bit to get all this done. But we have something to do first. And it involves a little bit of landscaping. That sounds good. We'll call it landscaping. So when I finished up building our pyramid, I was standing way atop here, and I noticed there was some ground level issues I need to work on. All decorative stuff for the future. Like all of those creeper holes that I really never noticed up until I was standing up here. I need to probably redo that in sand. I never finished filling in this river I talked about a couple episodes ago. I don't know why I didn't. I just forgot, I guess. And then down here, there's some weird sand formation-y stuff down here that I just don't like. Just the way the levels change very abruptly, and I don't even know what the heck's going on here. But it's outside our village border, but we can see it, so we are going to take care of that. I'm going to grab a ton of sand that I got sitting up in our player storage room up top, and do all this crazy shenanigans, and then when I get back, we will talk about the kitchen and the chefs. So guys, I've got some news. Some of it's normal news. Some is really bad news. But the other last thing makes up for all the badness that happened, and let me just explain everything a little bit better. So first, just general update. That's the first news. I did level in all those creeper holes. I replaced all that gravel down there in that former river. This river is now completely gone. There was another little formation right around here that I just didn't like, so I kind of smoothed that out a bit. And then I did a whole bunch of shenanigans back here, just kind of leveling things out a bit more. There was just too much variation, like little small pockets of lower level stuff, and I just didn't like it. We're nowhere near done, you know, flattening and terraforming this area out, but we've made a nice dent in it. So on to the bad news. So sometimes TekTopia doesn't like game crashes. Doesn't happen all the time, but occasionally, when you are playing the game and your game crashes, you may lose a villager or two. And in my case, I lost 16. So 16 of my 72 villagers just went poof, and they disappeared. The tons of yellow beds. I was like, what the heck's going on? So I know I lost 3 druids, a rancher. I even lost my teacher. So what I have done is I've created, lost 16 villagers, created 16 more. Um, the one good thing is now that we have books from our enchanter, our teacher can now, use them to do that little mass upgrade thing. But the thing that makes it oh so amazing is, as soon as I find him, is that right there is my villager. I got a Soberton in the house. Now I know it's not Sobertron, but it's pretty close. Tango's not known for his spelling. He's known for his modding and amazing videos and Titancraft and TekTopia and Hermitcraft and all that fun shenanigans. But yeah, so horrible thing happened that resulted in the best possible thing with my villager joining my village, which is fantastic. So now I have to wait a little bit longer to let these 16 guys grow up so I can kind of repopulate things to make sure I'm, keeping track of all my villagers and all that stuff. So we're going to get a couple more guys in here. But I realized I didn't show you some stuff either. We have been, we AFK'd so much here. We have a ton more iron than when we last left off in this episode. And even the diamonds. Diamonds are, growing nicely. I traded with the merchant right before I started recording, and I have yielded the most emeralds in this village thus far. I got 3 stacks plus 5 emeralds. So that was a very good day of trading. I just got really lucky with all the trades. But while those kids grow up and the next crop of kids, because none of those guys are actually going to become our chefs, they are there just to replace the ones we lost. So while all of them do their thing, I'm going to work on the kitchen a bit. I have an idea for the floor. That's pretty well thought out. And it's going to be a nice stereotypical kind of checker pattern, black, black, white, all that fun stuff. I do have an idea for like a bigger kind of stove type thing back here, kind of like how I have in the smith, but it's going to be, in the back corner wall as opposed to the center of the room. But yeah, I have to wait a very long time now because I just put those hearts down. So it's going to take them a little while, and then I got to put more hearts down. It's really upsetting that it did kind of eat into my heart stash. I had a lot before, I think we're down below 27 now. That's not it. Yeah, we were like down here. So a little upsetting, yes, but with our tavern going and tons of happiness happening, we should be fine. And we got plenty to, populate our last levels or our, last few homes down here, so it's not a big deal. We'll be perfectly fine. So let me build that kitchen, and I'll come back once I actually have some nitwits to turn into chefs, and then we'll do kitchen showcase, and then followed by the chef's AI overview. So those 16 children have grown up into nitwits, and they've been given professions, and I wanted to remind you guys, make sure you shut AIs off if you are doing that. I ended up with a lot of diamond gear from the new blacksmith I made, and yeah, so it ate into my diamonds a little bit. They're slowly going back up again, but yeah, so make sure you check their AIs whenever you make a villager. Very important, especially if you're doing things like me. But I have finished up the kitchen. There are some more children kind of cooking in the school right now. That's a good way of saying it. So here's our kitchen. So fairly basic. I mean, I'm not going to come in here too much because there's really no need to. I just wanted a little something. I love the floor. The floor is great. I wish I could do something about these walls though. Just because they're shared. I mean, if I were to go right here, boom, we're in a hallway. Like that's no bueno. So yeah, maybe next season I'll plan things a little bit better. I think I'm planning things a lot better than last season right now, so hey, I'll take it as a win. So eventually we're going to end up, I think, with 10 chefs in here. I've only got 6 tokens up top right now, so that's what we're going to start with. So I planned ahead. So we've got the 10 crafting tables, 5 on each side, and then 10 furnaces. That's really all you need in here. Anything else is really unnecessary. So I'm going to wait for these kids to finish growing up, and then we will go over their AI and hopefully get cracking on this, tons and tons of villager meat I got going on right here. I mean, that double chest is almost full, just a couple more, stacks of chicken, and I'm running out of space for mutton right now. But, these non-villager stores of food are getting very low, so we need these chefs to make an appearance very, very soon. But I will be back once I am ready to convert them up, and we will discuss their AI. So we are back, and all of our children have grown up into nitwits. We have 12 of them in total, but only 6 are going to become our chefs. And chefs, really, you don't really got to pay attention too much to their intelligence, especially if you're only making a few. Just go ahead and throw them down. They're going to do so many things that they will level up very, very fast. So let's convert one right now. Hi, Grace. And let's take a look at their AI. So cooking all the meats. Simple, right? We have tons of it right now. We want them doing all of that. Same with potatoes. We have, I think, more potatoes than anything else, with the exception of carrots, I believe, because for some reason carrots are just staying in our chests. Nobody's using them. So we're going to keep that on too. Because I don't want them crafting beetroot soup, because it's a very, it doesn't stack, essentially, and you can't trade it. I don't care about that. Same with cake and cookies. Cookies are one of those few items that will never be a villager item because you can't get cocoa beans, and it's the same with the pumpkin pie actually. Crafting golden apple will be used by our guards, so this will be beneficial, but we don't want to waste our gold right now. So for now, I'm going to shut it off, and the same with the golden carrots. Pumpkin pie is the same thing. We don't need the sugar because we're not making cakes. All kinds of craziness is getting shut off right now, guys. And then the wooden bowl and this charcoal. So a lot got shut off there. So let me show you what we're going to keep. This is what we're keeping. The meats, the potatoes, and the bread. That is it. Everything else will be shut off with the exception of reading library and visiting the tavern. So now I got to do this to, these other guys. Hopefully I can figure out a fast way to do it and not miss anything because I'm notorious for that for some reason. But as soon as I do all this, I'm gonna let these guys work for a little while. Hopefully, and I kind of want to see how long it's gonna take for them to go through the, it's almost 2 double chests of meat. So it's interesting to see how long that'll take. But yeah, as soon as they're done, I'll be back and I'll share the results. So it is literally the next morning. I just finished doing all the AI stuff, and I wanted to discuss one more thing, and that is food variety. So generally speaking, what I just did is kind of the minimums you want. You want 6 food varieties that your villagers can do themselves or that you're providing for them. Just like the merchant, your villagers will remember the last food items he's eaten. So the more he eats, the more your villager eats a specific item, the less happiness they're actually going to gain from it. So if they haven't eaten that item, since the last 5 times, so let's say they've been eating everything and then they're like, oh, bread, cool, they're actually going to get a happiness bonus. They're going to get an additional 5 happiness on top of that. If they've eaten it once, it'll be normal happiness for that particular food item. But then once they've eaten it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, you start losing happiness value. So if they've eaten it 2 times, they'll lose 3. 3 times it'll be 7, and then all the way up to 5 times eaten, it'll be minus 18 happiness. The one, difference is you will never get more than minus 3 happiness for a food item. So eating something normally, like a golden carrot, will give you 20 happiness. If they've eaten it 5 times, though, they get minus 18, so it only gains 2 for them. I just wanted to share that with you guys. A lot of people don't realize that mechanic exists, and I'm going to actually include a link to the wiki that discusses this particular kind of mechanic of the game. But now it's just time to wait around and let our, chefs do their business. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. So it has been right around 6 hours. Ooh, somebody just chopped down a lot of trees. It's been right around 6 hours since our last recording. Our chefs have been hard at work down in the kitchen, cooking up all the meats and doing stuff and things. I actually had to add in 4 more chefs. It was just going way too slow, and they still have a very long process ahead of them. But I did a thing down here, which I am enjoying. I just keep coming up here and doing this. Because it's fun. And you gotta enjoy the little things in life. And that right there is just hours of entertainment for me. It's gonna be fantastic. But before we go look at everything our chefs have done, we need to track down the merchant, and he's probably up top here. Yep, there he is. I haven't talked about their trades now. Now that we have cooked meats and chefs doing things, these trades have shown up. So the merchant will offer to buy all 4 types of cooked meat, cakes, and baked potatoes, bread, things like that. So the meat trade starts off defaults at 32 half stack for 11. I don't recommend ever trading meat unless you are like desperate for emeralds for a project. But if you're doing, following my advice with the trading in 5 stack rule, you should never really be low on emeralds. The reason I don't recommend trading meat is because it is the best, source of both hunger and happiness for your villagers. So I don't think it's worth the monetary gain you get to trade it. Now, things like bread and baked potatoes, I absolutely will trade. Baked potatoes will go for half stack for 4 emeralds, so it's essentially double what a normal potato will trade for. And then bread, I think, is actually 16 bread, or so a quarter stack, and I think it's for 8, which is kind of an insane price. So that's actually a very good trade if you can maintain the bread. And I'll get to that in a second. So God, you guys are everywhere right now. For some reason, our chefs have prioritized beef and pork. I understand the beef, the steak, because it's the first item in their AI, but the pork is the 4th item. They haven't touched the chicken at all, and they've only recently started actually taking mutton. Like, this was completely full a minute ago. It was actually down to this spot. But yeah, I don't know why they're doing that. As you can see, the bread supplies are very low. This is actually the most I've ever seen there. Occasionally, our chefs are making, baked potatoes and bread, but generally, our villagers are coming and getting it right away, just because it's a new, different food source for them, so they want it and they're eating it. They don't want to eat the same stuff over and over again. Oh, and there's our cooked mutton. Awesome. We are finally gonna get through this double chest. I have a feeling it's probably gonna take about another 5 to 6 hours though. So I think I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna AFK overnight because it is getting late for me, and hopefully, by the time I get on tomorrow or the next day, all that will be done and it'll be fantastic. But I hope you guys liked today's episode. The chef is a really cool villager, and he does a lot of things to make your villagers much more happy and less hungry. Let's call it that, less hungry. I'm really digging this floor though. But until next time, you guys have a good one.